great boxer. I even hold the record for the most concussions given to one person who lived.
Lightning Bob.
Yep.
You hold the record for the most concussions a boxer has ever received.
Yep.
How many is that?
What?
Okay. So we have Lightning Bob, the boxer from the 50s. We have Ronald, and we have our art critic, Jeremy. Jeremy. It's amazing how you can keep that ash so long. Now, we'd like to solve everybody's problem, by financial, marital, any of those problems you may have or a situation you need cleared up. Please just let us know what it is, and our experts will give you an answer.
Toilet paper.
Ran out of toilet paper. Jeremy, what could be a situation resolved?
Was it an art project?
Was it an art project, he wants to know?
No. Well, no.
She's indecisive, much like art, and how you choose to look at it. Thank you.
I really don't think I care.
Ronald, they run out of toilet paper.
So this one time I was on the set, right? I was on there for like 20 hours. And I went in the bathroom. And there was no toilet paper. You know what I did?
No, tell us.
Have you heard of this thing? It's like saran wrap. You just get it, wipe it right up. Saran wrap.
All right, saran wrap, if you don't have toilet paper handy. Lightning Bob.
Yep. Your wife ran off with a baker, you said? I would go ahead and divorce her and you know, find somebody else. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. Perhaps another question might come up that answer might solve, but we certainly appreciate you being here. Anybody else have a problem or situation that you'd like our fantastic panel to solve?
Yeah.
Why are there only 4 faces on Mount Rushmore?
Ooh. Ronald, why are there only 4 faces on Mount Rushmore?
Now remind me, this one time I was on the set, right? There was this dame. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh, Mount Rushmore. Oh, because I'm not dead yet. That's what.
That's going to be tough, Jeremy.
Actually, I wrote a column for the New Yorker dealing with this very question. It would be so much better balanced if there were 3.
Okay. Lightning Bob, 4 faces on Mount Rushmore. Why is that?
He said he lives in a mound of cardboard. Don't feel so bad. I once lived in a box for a month. And I kind of lived through it, so you'll find a better path sometime.
Okay. Concussions didn't affect you at all, did they?
What?
Anyone else? Yes, right down here.
My husband is really getting stressed out at work and it's affecting the family. Do you have any recommendations or suggestions?
Family is stressed out because he's working too hard. He has no time for family, Bob.
You shouldn't call him a jerk. I mean, maybe he works too much or something, but that's okay, because... What was the question?
Ronald.
Yeah.
I'm too close to Bob.
Yeah, this reminds me of this one time, right? I was on the set. I was on the set for like 18 hours, and man, I got cramps. I'll tell you about these cramps I had. But I will tell you, I'll save that for another time. So what do you need to do, honey? You need to get some peanut butter.
Yeah.
A whole thing of peanut butter and some bread. When he comes home, you know what to do.
Make a sandwich?
Yeah, make a sandwich. Get those buns.
Actually, I rather like that idea. It sounds like it could be public art.
Right?
Right, very good. One or two more. We can have time to answer one or two more questions. All the way over here, yes.
I have a job interview next week. what should I do to prepare?
What should she do to prepare for a job interview?
Oh, yeah. So we have these things like job interviews where I come from in the entertainment industry. You know what, all the people that always gets the parts, let's just say they have special talents up in here. So just practice this. And I can tell you got this down. You know what I'm saying? He knows what I'm saying.
Somebody might be wearing a brown bag if they understand what you're saying.
I need
Jeremy?
A cigarette, a beret, an attitude.
Cigarette, beret, and attitude. I don't know if that's going to get you the job, but it's worth a try. Lightning Bob!
Those are good reflexes.
Thank you.
If I think I heard you correctly, you're going on a job interview to get a job running from a bear. I suggest you try for a different job, because that one sounds dangerous.
They want to... I'm sorry, I didn't
Some
interrupt
jobs have a health hazard.
you. You would know.
Yeah.
Okay. So you may want to rethink that interview you're going on, I think is what I think Bob is telling us. One more question for our random group of experts, just one more. Anybody?
She has a hard test.
Good, shut up.
I'm sorry, what was that?
She has a hard test to study for.
Hard test to study for. A hard test to study for. How should they prepare to study for a test?
I'd like to take a rest. Thank you.
Raymond? Ronald?
Don't do it.
This reminds me. I was on the set for 48 hours, right? We were doing a marathon. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? And speaking of hard tests, I had a test with this one broad, right? Her name, I don't remember the name. The name's not important. How you study is very important. What you need to do is you need to cram it all in, all at the last moment. That's how you study. Cram it in.
Jeremy, take us home.
I've seen your movie. They're trash. But they're brilliant. You know, people who have to take tests simply don't make the grade.
There you go. We'll give our whole panel a nice round of applause. Okay, that's very outstanding. And we're going to have the whole team come up here, maybe they in line. It's been a lot of fun this evening. You had a good time? Yeah. We need some special applause, because not only do we have all the lights in the theater being run by someone here at the theater, but one of the proprietors of the theater, Doug is up there. Give Doug a round. Welcome back, my beautiful wife, Lisa. In the back, working very hard, running the video, is our videographer. That's Deborah's wonderful husband, Rick. Right down here is one of the other players of funny things. That's Diane. She's going to get up here. From Deborah's group off the top, Scott. We'll invite him up here. Sam. Scott and Sam? Sam. And,
What did I do?
showed up.
Mine Joel?
Yeah,
gave us California.
To show up, and anybody else who might think this is easy to do, oh, I could do that. You're welcome to join us up here also. There's probably a gentleman out there by the name of, oh, I don't know, what do you think? Larry Edwards probably thinks he can do that.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll get Larry down here also. Come on up, Larry. The amazing Lair. And I do have one disclaimer.
Here, we have a space for you.
I do have one retraction and correction. I said that Sarah and her lovely daughter came all the way from Norco. I found out they came all the way from Rancho Cucamonga, which is even farther. This is a game called 185, and the whole idea is to tell the stupidest pun we can. Use the horn or not, Gary?
It's backstage.
Go get it.
Go get it.
By the way, when we finish this up, we're all going to line up outside.
We'll
And
get
as you exit the doors, you can shake hands with us because we certainly want to thank you for coming. Our next show is November 30th. Our tickets sell out quick. And by the way, our November 30th show is going to be a food drive for a local food bank. So if you're going to come to the show, we're going to ask you to please bring a canned food or a non-perishable item because giving back is probably the most important thing we can do. So keep that in mind. And with that, we're going to play a game called 185. As I said, it's the stupidest puns in the world, but we're going to make them funny because we're going to deliver them with conviction, with enthusiasm, and with gestures that are just going to make you laugh so hard that just like the lady that broke her water and go have a baby, he may make a mess on the floor also. It is jokes such as 185 cows go into a bar. The bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve cows here." And the cows said, "We'll go to another bar." Okay, so to get the game started, we need a profession. What kind of profession do we have?
Mad scientist.
A doctor. We have a doctor.
Is there a doctor now?
Doctor. 185 doctors.
Really? 185 doctors walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve doctors here." And the doctors say, "We really needed a shot."
185 doctors go into a bar, and the bartender says, "We don't serve doctors here." And the doctor said, "I don't have patience for that."
185 doctors go into a bar and the bartender says, "We don't serve doctors here." And the bartender says, "You've charted your own course."
185 doctors walking into a bar. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve doctors." And the bartender then says, "You know, because the last time you guys were in here, you just nursed your drinks."
185 doctors walk into the bar. Bar says, "We don't serve doctors because I don't want to drink. I have to pee."
185 doctors walk into a bar. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve doctors here." And then the doctor says, "This is a crappy operation you guys are running."
185 doctors go into a bar. Bartender says, "We don't serve doctors here." The doctor said, "I don't like that answer."
185 doctors walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve doctors here." And the doctor says, "Well, that's not according to procedure." Procedure?
The doctors.
So 185 doctors walk into a bar. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve doctors." And the doctor says, "But I have a note."
Shut it. 185 doctors walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve doctors here." The bartender then asks, "Doctor who?"
You can sit down now.
No, you can sit.
I have to pee!
Only 85 doctors go to bar. Bartender say, "I'm sorry, we no serve doctor here." I forgot what doctor say.
Hey. Another one.
185 doctors walk into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve doctors in here." And the guy says, "I'll just nurse this one."
Hey.
Let's go for the next one. Let's say, how about a zoo animal?
Zebra.
Zebra, I heard. Zebras. 185 zebras walk into a bar.
185 zebras walk into a bar. Bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve zebras here." And the zebra says, "Well, can you make it any more black and white?"
185 zebras walk into a bar. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve zebras." The zebra says, "That's okay, we have our own bars."
185 zebras walk into a bar. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve zebras." And then the zebra says, "Are you lying?"
185 zebras trot into a bar, and the bartender says, "Sorry, I've never heard of such a thing."
185 zebras go into a bar, and the bartender says, "We don't serve zebras here." And the zebra said, "Oh, but the giraffes are okay."
185 zebras gallop into a bar this time, and the bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve zebras." And the zebras go, "Well, I hope not, I know him."
185 zebras walk into a bar. The bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve zebras in here." And he goes, "Wait a minute, you serve blacks, you serve whites, but you don't serve blacks and whites?"
All right, 185 zebras walk into a bar. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve zebras here." And but he said, "We have an exception. If you go next door, you go through the back, you ask for Charles, he will give you some moonshine." And then the zebra says, "We're game."
185 zebras go into a bar. Bartender says, "We don't serve zebras here." And the zebra said, "But I thought this is where the deer and the antelope play."
185 amoebas walk into a bar. What am I doing up here?
Something you would buy and not return.
A cheese grater.
Cheese grater. Okay, 185 cheese graters.
185 cheese graters. Yeah, slide in the bar. And the bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve cheese graters here." And they go, "Well, that really grates my cheese."
I see what you did there.
185 cheese graters walk into a bar. The bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve cheese graters." And the cheese graters say, "Damn, that cuts real deep."
So, 185 cheese graters walk into a bar. The bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve cheese graters in here." And says, "Do you not have a shred of dignity?"
185 cheese graters go into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve cheese graters here." And the cheese grater says, "I'll slice you and dice you."
185 cheese graters walk into a bar and the bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve cheese graters here." And the cheese graters say, "Well, just see if we come to your help next time you're in a tough scrape."
One more, Dave. Oh, you got another one?
I think I got it this time.
Sit down! Sit down!
185 bee haters walk into a bar. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve bee haters." And the bee haters say, "That stinks."
Look at a celebrity walk into the bar.
Kim Kardashian.
Miley Cyrus. 185 Miley Cyrus walk into the bar. Careful.
Okay, that just reminds me when I was working. 30 hours. All right, so 185 Miley Cyrus is walking to a bar. And bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve Miley Cyrus, but go to Ron Jeremy's house. He will serve all 185 of them."
185 Miley Cyruses go into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve Miley Cyruses here." And she says, "My achy breaky heart!"
Hi, everybody. 185 Miley Cyruses, they're clones, right? Walk into a bar. The bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve Miley Cyruses here." And the Miley Cyruses says, "Bring in the wrecking ball!"
185 Miley Cyruses walk into the bar. Bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve Miley Cyruses here." And Miley Cyrus said,
185 Miley Cyruses
185 Miley Cyruses came in like a wrecking ball. And the bartender said, sorry, we don't serve Miley Cyruses. She turns around. Who's Miley Cyrus?
185 Miley Cyrus is walking into the bar. The bartender says, "That's it. I'm closing the place down right now."
One more, a blue collar.
Let me say one.
Blue collar.
Wait, I got one.
Jeffrey, who hates this game?
That's a good point.
185 Miley Cyruses walk into the bar. Bartender says, what's good? Nobody? Really?
And that's why he wasn't invited on stage.
Nobody gets it!
I get it.
Tough crowd. Blue collar profession. Blue collar profession.
Garbage
An
man.
attorney is a blue collar. An attorney is a blue collar.
Don't look at YouTube!
Trash collector.
I heard garbage man.
Garbage man, trash collector.
185 garbage men walk into a bar. Bartender says, we don't serve garbage men here. And the garbage man says, I can't.
185 garbage collectors walk into the bar and says, we don't serve you guys in here, no more. Then the garbage collector just goes, beep, 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 beep.
I'm back. 185 garbage collectors walk into a bar. Bartender says, I'm sorry, we don't serve garbage people here in the garbage. The garbage collector says, well, this really stinks.
So we do. Yeah, 185 garbage collectors walk into a bar. Bartender says, I'm sorry, sir, we don't serve garbage collectors in here. And he says, well, I'll just truck on out of here.
185 garbage collectors go into a bar. The bartender says, we don't serve garbage collectors here. And the garbage collector says, you're trash to me!
Henry's turn.
185 garbage collectors go into a bar. Bartender says, we don't serve garbage collectors. And the garbage collector said, we just came in to trash the place.
Uh, 185 garbage collectors walk into a bar, and they'll walk out 2 hours later.
All right, this is it. 185 flask inspectors walk into the bar. Bartender says, we don't serve flask inspectors, and the flask inspectors say, this makes no sense. Because these are flasks and this is a bar. Well, anyway. I had concussions.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you very much. Sam, thank you for joining us. Larry, thank you for joining us. And Diane, thank you for joining us. And all of you for joining us. So one more round of applause for Doug up there letting us use the Broadway Theater. As I said, we're going to meet you all outside so you can take your hand. Give an applause. Linda, my lovely wife, who allows me to do all this great stuff. DJ Gunn, Deborah Zimmer, Norm Nomura, Andy Lear, Rhonda Ward, our special guest, Mr. Gary Ware, the co-founder of Funny Things, David Lindsay, and Henry Miller.
Did you have a good time? Yeah. Our next show, last show of this year, we have 4 more next year, will be Monday, November 30th, so email Henry if you'd like a ticket. And don't forget to pick up the brochure for the Broadway Theater. It's on the left-hand side, and thank you again very much.